If you go into the Hulk's origin expecting a green rage monster, the epitome of chaos and destruction, and a whole lot of smashing, I'm sorry, but this story might disappoint you. It's obvious that the Hulk is supposed to be based on Jekyll and Hyde, but to be honest, I got really strong Frankenstein vibes. Anyways, everything begins with the world's most awesome weapon, the G-Bomb, and its creator, Bruce Banner, just moments before the weapon's debut test run. Almost immediately, we're introduced to the story's main cast, and the difference in personality between Bruce and Thunderbolt Ross, one of his longtime antagonists, couldn't be more obvious. They're polar opposites. Bruce is calm, self-confident, calculated, and caring, and Ross is, well, a Thunderbolt. We also meet Betty Ross, General Ross's daughter. She's really boring. She pretty much just boils down to cardboard, stereotypical love interest girl character. As someone that's not well versed on the Hulk, I don't know a whole lot about these characters, but I really hope to see her eventually come into her own. Last and most definitely least, we meet Iger, an evil secret agent with the worst poker face in the entire biz. So our stage is set, and it's about ding-dong time we get started. Just moments before the final countdown begins, Bruce spots a car barreling straight into the blast zone. Frantic, he urges Iger to stall the countdown until he can get the random pedestrian out of there. Unfortunately, he's missing one very important piece of information. Iger is the world's worst secret bad guy. Bruce gets the boy to a nearby blast trench before the explosion goes off, shoving him into it before eating the full blast of gamma radiation from the G-Bomb. By the way, how is this blast trench really protecting squat? I've seen a lot of blast trenches in my day, and this is by far the worst one. The strange thing is, the explosion doesn't really seem to do anything to Bruce, other than to scare the living hell out of him. The poor guy is stuck screaming for hours. I really want to give a shout out to Kirby's artwork here. Bruce's reaction to the gamma bomb was pretty visceral in a way that we don't really see that much during this time period. Afterwards, we found out the boy he saved is Rick Jones, and he stays in the hospital room with Bruce, giving him an underhanded thank you for saving his life. As an orphan, Rick's not really used to people caring about him like this. As they wait though, night begins to fall, and suddenly Bruce begins to feel odd. His head throbs, and a nearby Geiger counter starts to go nuts as it begins reading increases in radiation. And before you ding-dong know it, we see the Hulk for the very first time in all of his gray glory. Because yes, in this story, he hulks out at nighttime, like some kind of werewolf. This all goes just about as well as you could guess, and this portion of the story is about what I would normally assume a Hulk story to be like, as we see him bust through the wall of the hospital and smash up a military vehicle before hurtling off into the darkness. Now that our boy Bruce is the Hulk, our story can really start to ramp up. It's also where I start to get a little bit confused. So we get the Hulk, officially coined by some unknown soldier, sneaking through a military base as he tries to get home to reach the formula for his G-Bomb. So for one, how is this guy stealthy? Also, I'm kinda confused as to whether he knows he's Bruce or not, because the story seems to flip-flop a lot on this. He knows where his house is located and what he's looking for, but later we're going to see that he only has a vague remembrance of who Bruce Banner is. Anyways, secret bad guy is in his home digging through his crap, looking for the formula as well. Startled at the sight of the Hulk, he shoots him in the shoulder, which pretty much does nothing, before the Hulk promptly beats the heck out of Iger, as Rick begs him not to kill the man. Hulk kind of starts to get all world domination-y, but thankfully it's morning, which for Mr. Gray is nappy time, as we get the return of Bruce right in time for the military to show up. To be honest, I really like the Hulk's transformation being based on Bruce's emotional state instead of the time of day. Not only does it make more sense, but it leads to higher stakes and emotional stress. It leaves the reader in a state where they never really know when he might accidentally have a little bit of a Hulksident. To the soldiers, it's pretty obvious that the Hulk was here, based on the destruction, but none of them believe that puny, meek Bruce could possibly be the guy. Let's just disregard the bomb, the torn up clothing, and the beaten down look on his face. Betty also shows up and tries to calm Bruce down, but he's incredibly stressed and distressed over the whole situation, and he just asks her to leave. Yeah, he's okay for now, but what happened when the sun sets again? Now look, I'll be honest, this is where the comic should have ended. The next portion isn't great, or as far as I can tell, important, but there's a key moment that I still want to cover between Betty, General Ross, and the Hulk. Betty just can't get that man Bruce off of her mind. She's obviously lovesick and worried. To clear her head, she goes for a stroll in the night and runs into the Hulk, but in her fear, she faints. Hulk kind of just leaves her there. He doesn't really like weak humans. But later, her father will find her just as she is coming around, and she recounts the situation. General Ross vows to destroy the Hulk, even if it takes him an eternity. And props. So far as I'm aware, he's still trying to this very day. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you're looking to further follow my journey through Marvel Comics, I've got another great video here on screen.